Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here, and it is Tuesday, and I forgot to put the garbage out. It's all right. No, it's okay. But either way, we got a game today against Brooklyn, and I got the preview for you guys. We'll go over everything today, and we'll talk about fine for Brandon yesterday. We'll talk about all the current news for the Raptors and tempo and all the other stuff in the basketball world of Toronto. Let's go, Raptor Freaks. Let's go. Fuck Brooklyn. That's right. That's what we say on a Tuesday morning we get up. Did I say that too early in my YouTube stream? Did YouTube hear that? Fuck Brooklyn. Well, I'm just like the great Messiah. That's all. That's what I say. Fuck Brooklyn. Fuck Brooklyn. Fuck Brooklyn. Fuck Brooklyn. Actually, I feel sorry for Brooklyn. I really do. Jordi Fernandez is a class act. Jordi Fernandez is a great coach. Jordi Fernandez is somebody I like. And I don't like that he's got a team of knuckleheads that he can't coach because they're knuckleheads. Seriously, he said this. It's like, I've tried to coach them. I've tried to do things with them. They're just not listening. That sucks. That sucks. That just shows you, like, to get an organization together in the right way and get things going the right way is not the easiest thing in the world. You know, especially with the Nets starting over from scratch after the years of Harden, Durant, and Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons. It's like the devastation left after those superstars is just Joe Tsai and his team is just picking up the pieces and trying to put it back together. And Jordi Fernandez said the only guy I want to keep is Nick Claxton, and that's it. That's it. So let's go look at their injuries real quick this morning. Yeah, they got a few. It was recently found out that Cam Thomas has a left hamstring strain, and he's going to be out for about a month. So he is out. Cam Thomas, one of their better scorers, was supposed to be kind of the guy now that Cam Johnson's gone, but that hasn't happened. Haywood Highsmith is still out. He has knee swelling, and he's rehabbing, and he's going to be reevaluated in about a month or so. And then Day'Ron Sharpe, the backup center for the Nets, he has a hamstring issue that's making him questionable for today's game against the Raptors. Questionable. He's not totally out. So who are the Nets this year? Well, we saw them in preseason, and we handled them pretty nice in preseason already. So their main player now is Michael Porter Jr. after being acquired from the Denver Nuggets this summer. And, well, they're playing a big lineup right now to start. It's not that bad, actually, in some ways on paper, but it's the best they can do. Nicholas Claxton at center, Noah Clowney at power forward. That's actually a pretty good duo of length up front. And then Michael Porter Jr. at small forward. Terrence Mann is the shooting guard, the starting shooting guard. And the rookie Igor Demon is the starting point guard. And that's always that's an Achilles heel for them right there. You're going to start a rookie at point guard, you're going to be in trouble, Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flag. It's just not a good look. Trust me. The Mavs are showing it. The Nets are showing it. And, susceptible. That's what I say right there. Demont should be susceptible to stealing from Shed and Quickly and the other guys on our team. So, yeah, that's the same. For the rest of the Nets team, we got Tyrese Martin, Drake Powell, Zaire Williams, the friend of Darko, Jalen Wilson of Kansas Jayhawks, good friend of Grady Dick, Ben Saraf, the rookie, Tyrese Martin, I already said that, Danny Wolf, another rookie, Nolan Traore, another rookie, let's see, EJ Liddell, who got in the fracas this summer with Jacoby Walter at Summer League. Tyson Etienne is also on this team. So, yeah, it's a really, in some ways the Nets are like the Skyhawks of the NBA. Yeah, the College Park Skyhawks have no talent, and they're going nowhere this year. And the Nets are the same at the NBA level. It's just how it is. On our side, there was an injury announced yesterday, guys. In the afternoon, Sandro Mamu is questionable for tonight due to a neck stiffness. So we'll have to see if Sandro Mamu Kelishvili is going to be available for the Raptors tonight. We'll have to see. But he's the only one on the list, so that's portending that Jakob will be available and be playing tonight. Some of y'all said, well, maybe Yak shouldn't play in this game if he doesn't have to. Well, if he's healthy and he's fine, we might as well let him play. There's no back-to-back situation. We won't play again until Thursday. And, why not play him tonight? Because in some ways it's no big deal if we play him or not. If he doesn't need to be out there for very long. He could go out there, dominate in the beginning, and then we put him on a minutes restriction, and Yak's just not out in the game too much. But I agree. I mean, this is a game where people could sit. In fact, I was saying this, if the Raptors really did want to suspend Brandon Ingram for the bottle throwing incident, tonight's a good game for him to sit out for one. But I'm going to say this right now. The NBA disciplining him by giving him a $25,000 fine for that. In some ways, I have my issues with the NBA being fascist. In some ways, I get it. It could have been a whole worse. Like, apparently the angle, it showed in the camera that he didn't hit that guy in the face with the bottle. The bottle actually hit his shoulder, actually hit his arm and his shoulder. It looked a lot worse from some angles. Like the bottle actually hit the kid in the face, but it actually hit him in the shoulder. Now, I'm always against the NBA and professional leagues fining athletes crazy amounts of money for different weird shit. In some ways, I feel like it's totalitarian kind of fascist shit because I believe in a free society. He made a mistake. He shouldn't have done it. And well, all the people that have been coming at Brandon for this and this, all the morality police, well, he got punished. He got fined $25,000. That's a good amount of money to all of us. And some people say, well, that's nothing to him. No, that's still money, man. And in some ways, he's going to be like, damn, it sucks. So listen, he got punished. If he gets punished internally by the Raptors and Coach Darko, and we don't know about it, can y'all just shut up about this? Because some people are going overboard. Some people are deciding they don't like Brandon on our team because he threw a bottle. You are idiots. You're fucking idiots. And in some ways, I question whether you're actually Raptors fans. Because some of y'all would just want to pull apart shit and come into our social media spaces and just talk out your ass. And I'll just say this. If the Raptors don't play him tonight on the down low, or they say on the down low he's suspended for one game, that's fine. It's the Nets. So be it. But listen, Brandon didn't sit out for the past year, for most of last year on injury, to have to sit out because of suspension. He wants to play as much and as possible as he can, as his body and health permits. And once again, and Josh Lundberg confirmed this in his tweet yesterday on Blue Skies, that Brandon didn't throw that bottle because of foul trouble. He threw that bottle because he almost got hurt again, and he was frustrated. And that's why he threw that bottle. A lot of people have misconceptions about why he threw that bottle. A lot of people are projecting a lot of bullshit onto him and saying this is this and this is this. You don't fucking know jack shit. So just stop. Seriously. And everybody who thinks that the hammer of God needs to come thundering down on Brandon Ingram because he made a poor, impulsive mistake, you guys are idiots. You're idiots, and you need to shut the hell up. I'm sick of people being the morality police and saying this and that. People make bad mistakes all the time. I'm sure you made a foolish mistake exactly like what Brandon did in your own life at some point in your life. So get over yourself. And he's paying the price, $25,000 for this. So if it's really that bad, if he really got to be in trouble, if this will help stupid Raptors fans that are morality police, suspend him for one game, Darko. So what? Maybe that'll make people feel better, and they'll stop getting off their high horse. And they'll start getting off their high horse and stop being such a I'm holier than thou than you motherfuckers. So I'm sick of this shit. Stop judging Brandon for an impulsive mistake that he made in the moment. He did not throw that at that guy on purpose. You think he wanted to get Scottie all wet on purpose? Y'all going to judge him because he didn't get up and clean it up? In some ways, he may have been in shock that he had fucked up like that. And, there's all kinds of different ways that this could have gone down. And y'all can fill in the coloring book with the crayon colors you want to fill it in, but you're wrong. You need to understand that. And you just need to stop being fucking judgmental is what I'm fucking saying to these people. Seriously. I'm sick of this shit. The amount of social media crap in the last 3 days about Brandon Ingram and this bottle throwing incident is so overblown and stupid. Let it go. Move on. And when he wins a game for us at the end of the game, smile and be happy he's on our team. Okay? Okay? That's the assignment, Raptors Nation. And all you negative ninnies and naysayers and judgmental motherfuckers, let me come follow you for a week. And I'll point out every single fucking thing you did morally wrong too. All right? You want that? I can come and follow you. I'll follow you all day at work. Oh, who's that guy, Ned? Oh, I fucked up. I said some bad things about Brandon Ingram on Reddit, and he's watching me. Why is he here? He's going to be like watching me for a week, apparently. Yeah, he's supposed to tell me what I'm morally doing wrong because he's on his high horse like I was. and he's teaching me a lesson. You stop talking about me. That's gossip. High horse, morality. You shut up, Ned. You keep working. That's right. I'm judging you, motherfucker. I'm sitting in your office and I'm judging you all week. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you're doing morally wrong too, motherfucker. Yeah, that's how it's going to be for a week. Sorry. You overstep. So yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, this shit with Brandon needs to stop. I'm sick of it. We stand with our guys. We're all human. We make mistakes. That's what I got to fucking say. Somebody want to cast him away like that? You don't even understand who this guy is. People are talking like that. Seriously, you don't even understand who this man is. You want to cast him away? You're like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want somebody on this like this on my team. I understood that with Terrence Davis. I understood that. The man threw his phone at his girlfriend. And in some ways, he was abusive towards her. And all the morality police came out like crazy for Terrence Davis Jr. Oh, we can't have Terrence on our team. He has a domestic violence charge in New York City. Oh, they came out and they got on their high horse and rode around on Terrence Davis for a little while there, didn't they? Woo-wee! Yeah, these social justice warriors, these perfect people that fucking live their lives so perfectly that they can't judge people that lose their temper for 1 second in their lives and make horrible mistakes by accident. Anyway, let's do the ref report. How about that? All right, guys, I'm so happy to report that we have one of our favorite referees of all time in as the crew chief tonight in Brooklyn. And it is Mr. Bill Kennedy, number 55 in his 28th season out of Phoenix, Arizona. The golden voice of Bill Kennedy, the karaoke god that is Bill Kennedy. We love Bill Kennedy. His favorite musician is Luther Vandross. He likes to eat filet mignon and a good bottle of red wine. He'd most like to visit Jerusalem. Maybe not right now. And the shit that's going on down over there, man, the Israeli settlers are out of pocket and they are wrong. Those motherfuckers are terrorists. The Israeli settlers are terrorists. That's the terrorists over there. You can say Hamas is terrorists. Sure, I'll say that too. But the Israeli settlers are terrorists also. That's just the damn truth. They've been terrorists for decades now. They've been an unidentified terrorist group this whole fucking time with this Israeli state and the terrorism of the Israeli settlers. I'm sorry, Bill Kennedy. I have to bring that up. He'd like to see the Egyptian pyramids too while he's over there. And his hidden talent is karaoke. Bill Kennedy has officiated 1,524 regular season games in 27 seasons as an NBA staff official. He has worked 137 playoff games, including 8 NBA Finals games. Bill Kennedy is by far favoring the Raptors today, guys. His record with us is a 56% winning percentage, and the Nets only win 39%. So 56-39 for the Raptors with the crew chief. He's the only one on our side, though. The other two are bad refs for the Raptors. One of them's kind of okay, but the other one is absolutely shit. So thank God that we've got the crew chief, Bill Kennedy, as a favor guy. But I don't think we need this, honestly. I think we could have a really bad ref crew, and we will kick the Nets' ass anyway. So the second ref is the other Goebel brother. We had John last week. This week we're getting the younger Goebel, Jason Goebel, number 68, his 10th season out of Miami, Florida, where he was a Miami-Dade police officer. His favorite TV show is Power. He likes the movie Godfather. His favorite musician's Mark Anthony. His favorite book is Pirates in Blue. He likes veal parmesan. He watches Netflix. He most like to visit Tahiti. And his bucket list is roll his own cigar in Cuba. Yeah, Jason Goebel has officiated 478 regular season games and 15 playoff games in 9 seasons as an NBA staff official. He's the younger Goebel. Now, John is nicer to us. Jason is not as nice. Jason, we win 48% of our games. And actually, it's pretty even, 49% for the Nets. So 48-49, slight advantage for the Nets for Jason Goebel. Now, that's the thing that's the red flag. The Nets have a better record under him in the last 10 years than us. So a lot of that may be Tampa era stuff. But honestly, we've been a much better team than the Nets record-wise in the last 10 years. That it's kind of a red flag when a referee has a better record with the Nets than the Raptors in the last 10 years. So, yeah, 48-49. Very, very close split, but slightly advantage for the Nets. All right, the third ref is one of the worst refs for the Raptors. He's a bottom 5 ref. Really, really bad ref for the Raptors. And I think we had him in the preseason once. Yeah, CJ Washington, number 12. 10th season out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His favorite TV show is Godfather of Harlem. He likes the movie Life. His favorite musician is Anthony Hamilton. His favorite book is Rise of the King. His favorite meal is lasagna. He most like to visit Italy, and his bucket list is to attend a football game at Notre Dame Stadium. Yeah, CJ Washington has officiated 401 regular season games in 9 seasons as an NBA staff official. Yeah, his percentage with us is garbage. 36% winning percentage. Like I said, he's down near the bottom with Murat Kugat. He's right down there at the bottom with him. Meanwhile, the Nets, in the 9 years that he's been reffing, have won half their games. 50% winning for the Nets. So 39-50 is the split for the Nets with the third ref, CJ Washington. So thank God we got Bill Kennedy. And he's really the senior ref in this crew. So he's running the show. Trust me. So he'll keep things on the level. CJ may have some out-of-pocket calls during the game. Watch him closely. Watch the third ref closely. Jason Goebel, pretty even though. So yeah, there's your ref report for tonight's game against the Nets. Fuck Brooklyn. That's what I'm saying. That's right. All right, let me keep going on this here. Trevor J's words of wisdom. You may not get caught for everything you do, but you will pay for everything you've done to everyone. Jeez. Yikes. I hope so. Somebody going to starve children? Somebody going to take health care from a senior citizen? I hope you pay for what you did. That's right. And that's the U.S. government right now. They're trying to kill people on the down low. And I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. There's an on the down low genocide going to happen in the United States because in some ways they want more people to die because AI automation's coming and they don't need the working class to an extent at this point. So what do? We don't really want to pay everybody basic income to live. We'd rather all y'all just die. And that's really the Republican Party and MAGA's plan. And I don't know why people can't see and connect the dots just a little bit better. That's the whole reason why he's so defiant about paying SNAP benefits. That's the whole reason why he's cutting all kinds of healthcare for the whole entire country is because he wants you to die. Donald Trump wants you to die. And, he wants his rich people to stay alive and stay in their little house and be okay. And all the rest of y'all die. That's what he wants. That's basically it at this point. It's very clear. And the Democrats and the Republicans are both shitty. The classic career Democrats are absolute piece of garbage, but the Republicans are even more a piece of garbage. And they're all garbage. And honestly, the career politicians need to go out. And Zoran is the beginning of the start of the best kind of people in leadership. Now, not the career politicians, not the establishment politicians, not Nancy Pelosi, not Mitch McConnell, not any of these pieces of shit that have been around the Senate and the Congress for so long. No, we need new young leaders that are progressive and they're going to build a new future that's for humanity and for looking out for each other. But if we go with the corporate class, the corporate Meta, Amazon, Walmart fuck faces, we're going to kill everybody over this time. We're going to lose people. You're going to lose people unnecessarily. You're going to lose your aunt. You're going to lose your grandma. You're going to lose your cousin. You're going to lose maybe somebody in your family. You may even die yourself because that's what they want at this point. They've seen the future doesn't have to have people involved and they don't care and they're heartless and they don't give a shit about everybody. They want you to die. I'm telling you right now. And if that pisses you off, well, we need to get in the streets because honestly, the way that the Democrats kowtowed in this deal on Sunday night, they're not on your side and they're not going to fight for you. So we need to go and take care of it with the power of the people. And those marches are a good start. A general strike is a better start. And other things can be a better start too, because we need change. And honestly, if you think the system will allow you to change things back to the right way it's supposed to be, you're crazy. Because they'll game and rig that system. They'll give you the chance to say, well, you have to do this legally. And they will fucking change the rules behind your back. So I'm saying this right now, guys. I would like to believe that the election last week is a sign that we can win this back through the system, but I don't believe it because they are cheaters and they will do everything in their power to keep the power and they will go to violent, barbaric things to do it. And we need to be ready to do it the other way to get it back the other way from them. Seriously. I wish this could be peaceful. I wish this could be, but I don't think they're going to be allowing that. If they could be upstanding, honorable men and not criminals and felons, they would understand that power is supposed to be transferred peacefully in the United States when people win elections. But these guys are cheaters, and they don't give a shit about the rules. So in some ways, you can't fucking go by the rules to beat them. In some ways, you got to go out of pocket and come around and get them on the side with a haymaker that they're not looking for to beat their asses, because they ain't going to follow rules. And we could all follow rules and think that we have a chance by following the rules. That's not this world anymore. Because if they fucking don't follow the rules, why should any of us, is what I'm saying right now. No taxation without representation. And they ain't fucking representing you anymore. They want you to die. That's just the basic truth of this shit right now. All right, Trevor, there's your words of wisdom response right there. That's it. Happy game day. Let's beat Brooklyn. Fuck Brooklyn. That's right. The Raptors are in New York. Let's go see what they've been doing. That's right. Oh, crap. I didn't set this up exactly right. All right, let me get back to it. I'll figure it out right here. Instagram stories. Come on now. We know we've seen a couple of things happening yesterday with the Raptors in New York. Let's go look. First, Toronto Tempo head coach Sandy Brondello answering some questions. Her earliest basketball memory, her happiest basketball memories. Why did you come to Toronto? All these kind of great questions. It's been very much revealed that Coach Sandy got offers from Seattle and Dallas, and the Dallas one may have been a little bit more lucrative than the Toronto one, but she did choose Toronto because she liked the clear blank slate of starting a franchise from the bottom and starting totally fresh. And I like that. I like that about that. So it's nice to have Sandy in the fold in Toronto. She really genuinely wanted to be here over the other places. And that's awesome. I love that so much. Good job, Teresa Resch, and getting that. Also, Toronto Tempo is recognizing Remembrance Day today, guys. Listen, this is an important day, 11/11. You know, there's a lot of people that fought for democracy and freedom against fascists like the Donald Trump presidency to have freedom. But in some ways, all of their work and death and dying and sacrifice goes out the window when we allow fascists to be in charge of the country. So understand this. This is a very important day, Veterans Day, to remember, and Remembrance Day. People that made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy and freedom in World War II and other places. And well, we're dropped the ball in our society right now. In some ways, this day is all about anti-fascism. This day is the ultimate anti-fascist. The poppy that people wear on their shirt today and for the month of November represents anti-fascists, Antifa. That poppy is Antifa. And everybody needs to realize that. Everybody come and say, oh, Antifa. They're fucking bad. They're horrible. No, they're not. They're the people that fought for your democracy and your freedom. And that's the people we remember today. So we have not honored these people, right? Because we've allowed the government of the United States to be taken over by fascists. So, I mean, we can do this 11/11 ceremony and celebrate this stuff, but honestly, it doesn't mean jack shit when there's people like Donald Trump and the president in the White House. I'm telling you right now, this is not what these guys fought for and died for in World War II. This is not. They would be fighting him because Trump is Hitler. Seriously, I'm telling you right now, they would be fighting him. Jared Roden's going to get his dog, I guess, soon. He's saying a couple more days, baby boy. He really wants to see his dog bad. I'm wondering if he's getting his dog to come to Europe. Like maybe he had to go through papers, get the dog, the update on the shots, and boom, all of a sudden the dog can be a European dog with him in France. Because I'm pretty sure he's not coming back. Are you going back already? Like, what's going on here, Jared? Are you going back to the States just for a brief stopover to see everybody, and then you're going back? I don't know. Are you bringing the dog to Europe? I don't know. I can't tell. This matters to me. I want to know if Jared Roden's dog is with him or not. That's right. That's right. Andrew Jones with some still photos from the 905 game on Sunday, and it's kind of cool. If you look at the first photo on Andrew Jones' Instagram stories, if you look behind in the section there, you're going to see, well, not in the first picture, the second picture. The second picture, if you look in between him and Stripes, and the second picture on his Instagram stories, you can see old me in between, and right behind the kneecap of Andrew Jones, sitting in the front row. You see Raptors Freak with the hat that I'm wearing right here, sitting behind in between Stripes. You can see me there. I'm sitting at half court. That's kind of cool. There he is with his staff. Good job. I was saying this yesterday in honor of Lenny Wilkins. You know, sad to see Coach pass on. And, well, Morris Peterson has a tribute up on his Instagram stories for Coach Rest in peace, coach. And he was the coach of the Raptors when we got our first playoff win. And yeah, Mo Pete is recognizing the greatness of Lenny Wilkins. Kelly Olynyk has got a highlight of Wemby on his thing where he hits a crossover three at the top of the key on Vucevic and hits the shot right at the end of the game. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's OP. Let's just put it that way. That's OP. There's Zach Edey walking around with a bag. Maybe he's healthy yet. Are you going to start playing soon, Zach? Because I'd like to see you show up on my fantasy team. Let's see. Teresa Resch is celebrating the soccer game from this weekend, the crazy soccer game that was in the snow, and just wildness there. Yeah, BMO and the women's soccer is what she was looking at. They were falling in the snow and everything. Experienced soccer in Canada, jump in the snow. AFC Toronto. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's the Sandy interview. And yeah, Adriana got a new Tempo hoodie. She was showing it to me earlier. Grady Dick showing off the new City Edition, officially released yesterday. And all the Raptors have pics of themselves rocking it. It looks great. It looks great. Why does everybody got to be a critic? Why does everybody got to be pessimistic? Why does everybody got to talk shit? This new jersey comes out and it just opens up a whole realm of idiots on Reddit going on about, why aren't they purple? Where's the dinosaur? I want the original jersey. Why aren't they purple? I hate the chevrons. It's like all this stupid shit. We don't give a shit. Let the Raptors do their style because they do a good job. This jersey's fire. I'm going to say this right now. I love the red chevron jersey. That jersey is awesome. The one that's on the Raptor on this jersey that just came out. That jersey is the best jersey. And this jersey is awesome for having it on there. So yeah, it's like, look, you guys are fashion police. Hello, Joe Rivers. You want to come and criticize or talk about all our jerseys and say, this jersey sucks. I hate this jersey. Well, listen, if you have a bad opinion, you know what your mom told you? Keep it to yourself. Seriously. And everybody whining and crying. The chevrons are so stupid. I hate chevrons. Motherfucker, the chevron has been a part of our style for a while now, and there's nothing wrong with it. You guys that get all upset about chevrons, you're crazy. One thing I want to say to the Jersey police, the Jersey fashion police in Raptors Nation. Do y'all understand why we have chevrons instead of the dinosaur on our jersey most of the time? You don't, do you? Because you don't understand the marketing and the advertising in the NBA and what things happen. Now, you guys remember when we changed our logo to the circular ball with the claw marks on it? It used to be our logo was different, right? Yeah, it had the dinosaur on it, right? Why did we do that? Do you all want to know why we did that? Why we changed the claw logo over the ball? Because the NBA asked us to. The NBA, at a certain point, asked all the NBA teams to minimize the work that goes into the symbols for the teams. They wanted everybody to be a little bit more simple because in manufacturing costs of apparel, you make a dinosaur, that's a really intricate thing, and it takes more money to make clothing and apparel that's very complicated. So in some ways, you can blame fucking capitalism and trying to make money for the reason why the chevron and the logo went to where they were. It's because, these City Edition jerseys that we're going to be wearing probably tonight, they're more expensive to make than a regular chevron jersey. And honestly, if you really want to blame something, blame money and profit making for the reason why the Raptors style changed from the beginning. The original jersey took a lot to manufacture. There was like trim with triangles and there were like 5 different colors on there. And the Raptors logo had like stuff in the logo. It's not simple. So it's all money. The reason why our logos change. The reason why the logo is just a simple thing, because they can do it in one color and they can put it on hats easy. And there's no big deal. Does this make sense to y'all? Do you understand why we went into the chevron era from the ornate dinosaur? That's exactly why. If y'all ever wanted to wonder why, that's it. That's it right there. It's cost-cutting moves. Cost-cutting. That's an easy logo to do. The logo with the claw. That's an easier jersey to make, the chevron jersey, than the one with the dinosaur on it. I'm just saying, that's it. You wanted the truth. You got the truth from Lex. Last night, Grady Dick went to Broadway. Scottie did too. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Grady's a big fan of Stranger Things, the show. And so he went to the Stranger Things Broadway show. Yeah, he went and saw the first shadow, Stranger Things. So I'm sure Carla was with him too to hold his hand. I'm sure she was. That's right. Jamal Shed is rocking this. He's saying, inspired by his mom, Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy creates a program to support 61,000 single moms in Kansas City. That's fantastic. That's God's worth. That's, when the government's failing the people, the government's just stealing the money from the people, but not giving any services back. They're giving all the money to the oligarchs, the billionaires, and tax cuts, and stealing the money from the people. Saints and amazing heroes come forward, like the wide out for the Chiefs. Yeah, that's amazing. That's good stuff right there. Let's keep going. There's Shed looking tough in the new city edition, looking real tough, Sheddy. That's right. I like that. Kyle Lowry wearing the the Philly throwback stuff and taking pictures with friends at the game the other night. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Scottie. There's Scottie at Broadway last night. And he said it never gets old, always better. He went to Hamilton again. And this is what he talked about with Kayla Gray before the season in that interview. Kayla said, you really love Hamilton. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Jama turned me on to it. He took me to my first play and I'm hooked. I can't stop going now. And he said in that interview, when he goes back to New York, he'll be going to Hamilton again. And he's going to try and meet, what's his name? Leslie Odom, or what is his name? Yeah, he did. He met him. There's a picture of him with him here on his Instagram now, which is pretty cool. He did get to meet the guy who's the star of Hamilton, Leslie Odom. There's a picture, and you can see Scott has a really genuine, smiling, happy face. Like he's really thrilled to meet him. You can tell Scotty's really happy to meet such a talented Broadway performer, and Leslie Odom. It's a big deal. It's very cool. And that guy, I guess maybe he made it an effort for sure to see Scottie being at the show. So that's very, very cool. There's a tough picture of the Raptors around the bus. It does look like maybe they did take a bus from Philly to Brooklyn. That'd be good. There you go. Jamison, Jacoby, Oshai, and Scottie in that picture out there. Yeah, there's Scottie with the new City Edition jersey on his Instagram. Looking tough, man. Looking tough. Yeah, and he also hung out with another guy from the cast, I believe Daharon Jones, I think is his name. He's saying, appreciate you coming through to the show yesterday. Keep balling out, playa. Saying that to Scottie. Yeah, Scottie he just loves Broadway. He just loved Broadway. He knew he's going. Jameson Battle rocking the City Edition on his. Jacoby Walter by the bus in the picture with Scottie and him rocking his City Edition. Looking tough. Emmanuel Quickly looking tough with his City Edition on his, and Jonathan Mobo posted a City Edition jersey for him. And there's RJ in his City Edition too, number 9. Oh yeah, and of course Oshai's by the bus, and the City Edition is rocking there. That's right. I love all that. I love that so much. There's Lindsey Dunn at 9:05 interviewing the players. Great way to start the 9:05 season with 2 big, huge wins. That's right, Lindsey. They did a fantastic job this weekend. And I'm still really enjoying from going to the game on Sunday. There's that Tyreek Key dunk on the Raptors 905 Instagram. I missed that dunk because Jarkel Joyner was standing right in front of me. I couldn't see around him. He was standing right in front of me, and Tyreek had this amazing dunk. And I totally missed it because I couldn't see around Joyner. It was crazy. All right, let's see. What else we got? Elijah Martin is walking down a snowy street in Mississauga. I think this is very new for him. He's a Mississippi guy who kind of identifies as a Florida guy. And, it's interesting the last couple of days, maybe the most snow Elijah Martin's seen is his life, being up here. But I think he likes the whole look of the sidewalk being cleared and just the snow on the grass on each side. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting change. And I'm sure, season change, life changes. And in some ways, be open to the experience, Elijah Martin. How about that? Be open to the experience. That's right. And let's see. That's it. That's the Instagram stories for today. City Edition jerseys are dropped. I'm wondering if they drop them like this, they put them out like this, does that mean they're going to wear them tonight? Because that makes sense. Why would they put them on blast like crazy in the last 24 hours if they're not going to actually wear them tonight? Like that would be a weird tease. So I'm really guessing the Raptors will be wearing their new City Edition tonight, and maybe the Nets will be wearing their white jerseys. So it'll be a black and white jersey game tonight. Could be very interesting to see right there. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, let's see. Happy game day. Let's beat Brooklyn. Trevor's saying, is this true? Raptors assistant coach sued Ingram for damage hit in the face by the water bottle. I don't think that's true. First of all, that don't make no sense because first of all, that person does not work for the Raptors. That is not a Raptors personnel. That person that was at that game that got hit by that bottle was a Philadelphia employee because that was in Philadelphia. That's the support staff that the staff is given. They don't travel with somebody like him on the team for the team. He's from home team. So it's a Philadelphia staff that got hit with that bottle. And the other thing is he didn't get hit in the face, Trevor. The replay shows that he got hit on the shoulder. He got hit on the shoulder. He got hit right here. Right here. In the angle in the original video we saw, it looked like it hit him smack in the face, but it did not happen that way. The bottle from the other angle shows that it glances off his shoulder right here and goes off that way. It's just that it looked like it hit him in the face. I have not heard any news about any of this. I've speculated that that guy could sue Brandon if he wanted to, but hopefully he's not a litigious person. And, you know, everything can be settled just by talking to each other. And maybe there's something nice that Brandon does for the guy. Maybe, you know, maybe he gives that guy something really cool. You know, like you say, here, man, here's a signed jersey and here's $10,000. Is this a good enough for what happened? You know what? That's great, Brandon. Thank you. You're my favorite player now. You know, something like that, man. Who knows? James is here. Good to see Raptor Freak James. James has had great questions all year long. He's saying someone on Discord, it was Kareem, mentioned sending Jacoby to the 905 for AJ Lawson. Thoughts? Well, first of all, this isn't like a trade. You know, these guys are independent of each other. What happens with them, they don't have to have anything to do with each other. This is I hate this idea. I think that this is not the right idea. I think that you guys are bored and you're over speculating and over trying to fix and help the team when you don't need to. I think you guys should just chill and watch the games. I think that Jacoby Walter started very well with defensive energy and doing the right things, but he's had a little bit of a downturn in the last week, and it's not anything to overreact to. I think that you do more damage sending him down right now for his confidence than anything. So I'm going to treat these separately because honestly, they're not connected. If you send Jacoby to 905, that doesn't mean you send up AJ. And if you bring AJ up to the Raptors, it doesn't mean you have to send down a Jacoby either. So it's not like it's a trade or anything like that. You can have both of them up or both of them down, and they're independent of each other. So I would say this. It would be bad for Walter at this point. If listen, I don't know what's going on in the practice. You don't either. None of us do. You guys can think you know everything about what the Raptors should do by just watching the games, but that is really the tip of the iceberg. You got to understand these guys are around each other doing practice and talking to the coaches constantly. And, you know, Jacoby, even though he may be showing stuff on the court, he's actually doing really well behind the scenes, and you don't even know it because we don't see everything that happens in practice. And the coaches do. And the coaches make their decisions partly on what happens in practice, not just all what happens in games, y'all. Seriously. So once again, you guys may think this is a good idea, but in some ways, we have no jurisdiction over this. It could very well happen, like where AJ comes up or Jacoby goes down. But in some ways, this is wasted breath. This is in some ways wasted energy. Just watch and let them manage the team. And if Jacoby has to go to 905 at some point this season, so be it. And if AJ busts through and he gets more up on the main level with the Raptors, that's great too. But they're totally independent of each other. And once again, I would caution all y'all from making your snap judgments just because Jacoby's had a couple bad games. Once again, that's no reason to cast somebody down or make them go to 905 just because they had a couple of bad games. The NBA is a long season. And there's ups and downs. And Jacoby Walter is not going to be totally perfect the whole entire year. He's going to have a whoop, 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 whoop. It's going to be a little bit like that. And we have to allow for the variance of performance in all of our players, whether it's Emmanuel Quickly, Jacoby Walter, Scottie Barnes, it doesn't matter. So it's really independent of each other. Now, AJ Lawson, in some ways, I'll talk about the other end from that. I think that AJ Lawson would be great to come up. I'd love for AJ to play on the main squad. And he's very, very clear. He wants to prove that he's a full-time NBA player. But also, this is the other side of it. What he does for the 905 is a leadership role. He's been in the G League for a couple of years now, and he really knows it well. And in some ways, that confidence and the way he carries himself down there is really good. In some ways, also, we got to look at how they use the two ways as a group this year so far. They barely played on the Raptors regular team. In some ways, last year, we had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the year, and this year we don't. Knock on wood. Now, last year, we had to play the two ways more near the beginning of the season, partly because of people that were absent. Well, this year we don't. And in some ways, that's a luxury. Chucky and Elijah and AJ will get their chance up on the main roster this year. That's a given. They will be playing for the Raptors at some point. But if we don't have to use their limited 50 games, see, they only get 50 games on the Raptors. And that's not even just games in the game. If they get dressed and go to the game and sit on the bench and don't even play, that counts to the 50 games. So if we're healthy right now, we have no time for them because everybody that's in our regular roster that's not a two-way is healthy. Then they need to be down there just playing on G League for a while. And if later on in the season we do get injury problems, then we have all their games fresh for us and they can come and fill in at that point. Does that make sense? I mean, this is really kind of a strategy thing. Elijah, Chucky, and AJ will get their chance on the Raptors. But right now, the Raptors are very healthy, and there's no need for the two ways to travel with the Raptors right now. And the two ways are much more useful on 905 to help Andrew Jones get that team off to a good start. So that's really what it is right there, guys. Once again, these guys are independent. They don't have to move because of each other. AJ has his own thing going away from Jacoby, and Jacoby has his own thing going. We don't have to make us trade like a switch. We could have them both up or both down either way and whatever way. That's not a thing with this. So, yeah, someone on Discord said that. I like this idea. AJ provides better scoring off the bench, in my opinion. Well, I think that's true. I think that AJ is a very good scorer. But once again, he's very useful to the 905 right now, and we're very healthy, and we don't need our two ways up. And that's it right there. That's it right there. I'm glad I can illuminate this for you guys. In some ways, you don't want to put Jacoby down there because in some ways, that's not the right message for what he's going through right now. Seriously. And once again, Walter may be doing things in practice really, really well. And we don't know the whole picture. Once again, we make all these ideas and we say, we should do this, or we should do that. We don't know what goes on in practice. We don't know what's going on with these players on a day-to-day basis behind the scenes. You only see what happens in the games. And that is not the full picture to figure out what the personnel moves should be. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. G saying this, the Nets went from Harden, KD to this. Well, that was the fool's gold of that idea of that big three. That's why in the NBA, quite often, it's too good to be true. There's so many situations throughout the history of the NBA where it's like, yeah, this is just going to work. Barkley with Olajuwon and Pippen in Houston. It's just going to work. Did it? No. They didn't get a championship with Barkley, even though they built a super team. Okay, we're going to get Steve Nash and Gary Payton and Karl Malone, and he'll play with the Lakers with Kobe Bryant and Shaq, and they're just going to win. That's fool's gold. You thought that just would work because of the paper, but you didn't think about the reality, and it didn't come through. It was a fool's gold. There's so much of this shit in the history of the NBA. People try to go the fast track and build super teams and put superstars together and just don't fucking work. So that's why I say there's no fast, easy shortcuts to building an NBA champion. And the Nets paid for it with their idea of building a big three team with those three guys that they had. And they even switched it. And it still was garbage with like one of them changed out. So, yeah. In some ways, Joe Tsai and the Nets are doing what they should have probably done a couple years back. You know, they were much better off before they even did the big three experiment with the nucleus they were building when they had Jared Allen. And Kenny Atkinson was their coach. And when we swept them in the bubble, that nucleus, they would have been better off at this point in time if they had not gone in the direction with those huge superstars and wasted their time and decimated their team and their assets in trades to get those superstars. That's why, in some ways, that's the hidden cost of chasing after big names and superstar talent every which way is you fuck up your team when you do that. And you can ask the Clippers about this. You can ask the Nets about this, where they just don't have jack shit and resources in certain ways. So I honestly think that the Brooklyn Nets would have been smarter if they had just stayed on the path with Coach Atkinson and Jared Allen and that group, Joe Harris and Karis LeVert and all the different people they had at that time. They were on a better path, and they would have been somewhere else by this time if they just hadn't made that detour with Durant and all that bullshit. I'm just saying. That's fool's gold stuff. I'm telling you guys. That's why I say stuff about John Morant coming to Toronto. That's fool's gold. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly it. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying this: the Nets are trying to turn Igor into a Scottie. Yeah, I don't know. You can't do that. I mean, in some ways, he doesn't have the strength to be a Scottie. There's no way he could be a Scottie because he doesn't have the strength. He just doesn't have the body strength. There's no way he could be a Scottie. That's weird. That's a weird comparison. Yeah, because he's very weak. And when we played them in the preseason, we manhandled Igor. We manhandled him. And Shed could probably manhandle him. Shed's shorter than him, but he's stronger than him. He probably manhandle Igor Damon because he's just a skinny European guy who just showed up and doesn't know jack shit about the NBA. You know, I dropped him. I drafted him in my fantasy team, and I dropped him because he's been a dud so far this year. I thought that he would be really good because he's getting to start and he's going to do all this, but he's been a dud. He's been a dud, and I dropped him. I dropped him like a week or so ago because I was like, yeah, whatever with that guy. Kaloy saying, I, for one, like to see some emotion for usually aloof Ingram. I'm sure he apologized. Yeah, everybody just assumes he didn't apologize. Everybody's projecting all this shit on top of him, and it's not fair. He's a nice guy. Trust me. He's a thoughtful person. And everybody's trying to paint Brandon Ingram as a spoiled rich guy. You're full of shit. And I'm with Kaloy. I'm glad he showed a passion like he cares. You know, seriously. We'd much rather have him bought in and caring and emotional and showing frustration because he gives a shit than being aloof and just kind of sitting around and like not any emotions and just kind of just going through life. So this, in some ways, as much as an ugly incident and an accident and a really bad impulsive decision, it's also a sign to fans that Brandon gives a shit. And that's something that I'm keying on more than the mistake. Because honestly, I'm glad, exactly like Kaloy is. I'm very glad. Shaq Lindsay saying, I hope they don't suspend him. Yeah, I hope they don't too. I think the fine is enough. You know, some idiot was like, I can't believe they rewarded him after doing that by putting him back in the game. Oh my gosh. Brandon doesn't want to sit out games. You know that because he sat out so many games last year. And in some ways, a suspension would really punish him because he doesn't want to miss any more of his NBA career if he doesn't have to. That's the same. That's why he, in the beginning of the year, this is very admirable, guys. Listen, Raptors fans. He had the offer to be load managed this year, just like Kawhi. But he's very adamant he does not want to be load managed. He wants to play every single game he can suit up and play. And he doesn't want to take any nights off. If it's a back-to-back, if it's whatever, he wants to play every night. If he is not hurt and he has no reason to be load managed, he does not want to be load managed because he's not living his life to waste it. He wants to play every opportunity he can. And that's a difference between him and Leonard, y'all, just so y'all know. Just so y'all know. Yeah, let's see. Shaq Lindsay saying, this is a game that I would like to see Chucky, Battle, and Jonathan Mobo play. The 905 aren't up. They're not there. They're not there. So you won't see Chucky. You won't see Chucky. Chucky is in Toronto. He's in Mississauga. And he is going to be playing the Maine Celtics tomorrow with the 905. And I've described why the two ways are not with the team already on the stream. It's because the Raptors are very healthy and they're not necessary to come up there. Chucky comes up to Brooklyn and sits on the bench in his warm-ups and doesn't play. That counts towards his two-way games. So they're not even doing this. They are full. They're healthy. They've got to give time to Walter, Abaji, Battle, and Dick. And they're not looking to give minutes to Martin and Hepburn and Lawson right now, guys. They'll get their minutes on 905. We're healthy at the top team. So that's it right there. We'll definitely probably see Jonathan Mobo play today. I'll bet you we'll see Mobo and Battle get some time tonight for sure. For sure. But not Chucky. You won't see Chucky in this game tonight. He is in Mississauga and he is there. Country Kong's back, guys. Wow. JP, thanks for coming back, man. Good to see you, bro. Good morning, Lex. It's been a while, but you're on a sight for sore eyes. Listen, I only started watching the Raptors in 2006, so I missed our Lenny Wilkins era, but it seems like he meant a lot to Vince. Yeah, I like that Vince came out with a video talking about him too. That's why it's just like, I'm glad I said what I said about Lenny yesterday. My tribute to Lenny yesterday, as I watched it back afterwards, I very much review my streams afterwards to see where I did good and maybe not so good. I'm really proud of the tribute I did for Lenny yesterday. I think that the things I said were necessary to be said. And if you haven't seen it, watch the stream from Monday. Man, it's like, I really can't believe how people slept on how much of an important player in the history of the NBA he is. Like, this is a very, very important person in the NBA. It's a two-time Hall of Famer, an NBA champion, and to our particular part in his history, that's special and important. And people like Morris Peterson, Jerome Williams, Vince Carter coming out and talking about what Coach Wilkins meant to them, it should educate the fans and the media, the sports media of Toronto, better on exactly who Lenny Wilkins was. Because I think a lot of people thought he was just a checked out old man when he was coaching the Raptors. And that is not fair. And that is not accurate. And that is not right. Some people are so good at what they do, they make it look easy. Let's just put it that way. That's what I say right there. Country Kong, I'm so happy to see you, man. I'm going to give you a dunk for coming back around. I missed you, man. I wish you were playing fantasy this year, but I didn't get any feedback from you on whether you wanted to play or not. So I had to move on. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a dunk. First dunk of the year. 3-pointer for Country Kong. First one in 2025. Yeah, awesome to see you, man. Awesome to see you. Let's see. What else is he saying? He's saying, I'm enjoying the Brandon Ingram experience so far, although I wish he worked a little harder to get more efficient shots on offense. You're joking, right? The water bottle was unfortunate, but it's good to know he cares. Yeah, no, Brandon's actually the most efficient mid-range shooter in the league right now. So I don't know what you mean by that. He's statistically the best mid-range shooter in the NBA right now. He's just making the best percentage from that area. So I don't get that part. Work a little harder to get more efficient shots on offense. I mean, I guess maybe he's lazy on just jacking up a three from the outside, but I see him working. I mean, I've seen him drive hard to the basket and make layups or dunks. I've seen him in the low post, doing hezzies and pump fakes and kind of pivoting around people and trying to, he's been playing very well. I don't really have a lot of critique for Brandon Ingram right now. I really don't. I think what he's doing is exactly right, other than throwing a water bottle. And everything else, the stuff that's happening on the court, especially the extra effort on defense. In some ways, I get it. If you want to see him try and work, part of the problem was in the game against Philly, there was a chaotic part where we were having just a struggle on getting anything clean on offense. And we were relying maybe too much on Brandon to try and find his own shot in isolation. And they were just guarding him up too well. And there was some frustration with that. The signs with me for effort with Brandon are on the defensive end. I want him to put out full effort on defense, because that's an area that in the past, maybe he didn't put as much effort into in other teams. So he's showing that in good faith too, because we've seen him get blocks. We see him going after rebounds, and he is getting after loose balls too. So that's the stuff I like about that. Yeah, he does care, and he's playing hard, and he is also very much in with the Raptors to win. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying, why don't Americans just purge one day for a year? That's awful. That movie's horrible. That movie is one of the worst movies ever made. In some ways, I hate movies that are horror movies or sci-fi movies, because in some ways, people write these stupid ass stories, and some twisted fuck out in real life wants to make it real. There are overtures that some people in this world want to purge, and that's just disgusting. That's like anti-humanity. The whole idea of it. It's barbaric. It's anti-civilization. It's anti-life. It's anti-Christ. It's anti-everything. And seriously, you may be joking about this, Shaq Lindsay, but this is no low laughing matter, because this kind of shit, you put that idea in their heads, they may actually try and fucking do this shit. They're so fucking twisted in the White House right now. So seriously, let's be serious here. Let's not joke around. This is not a joke. Seriously. If there's some sort of barbaric apocalyptic world we're going to go into where people can just murder people on the streets, like it's the Wild West with Wild Bill Hickok, you don't want to live in that world. Trust me. You do not want to live in that world. So let's not even joke about this. In some ways, fuck you, the makers of The Purge, and your fucking idea to make that whole fucking bullshit movie. Seriously. Because fucking crazy ass dumbasses will fucking try and do it at some point. Watch. And we don't want to live in a world where it's like that. Seriously, that's not civilized. That's backtracking on learning from our experience as humanity throughout the ages to get to the point where we have all this technology. We're supposed to know better, and we fucking get to that point. Seriously, think about what you're saying. This ain't right, Shaq Lindsay. I love your support, but man, no way, bro. No way. Kaloy saying Zoran has provided the blueprint to beat the Orange Man. I think that's true. I think in some ways it's inevitable that this will all come crashing down for MAGA. It's inevitable. But in some ways, we want to make sure that we do things right so we can safeguard from anything like this ever happening again. Because what did this fucking guy do on Sunday night? He pardoned everybody who did election fraud for him in the 2020 election. He pardoned Rudy Giuliani. He's pardoning all the criminals and basically sending a message to people around the government that if you do bad things for me, I will pardon you later. It doesn't matter. There's no criminality when you are just kissing the ring of the king. And that's a dangerous fucking thing. I'm telling you right now, the system is not going to work itself out to fix us because there's criminals running it and they don't pay attention to the rules. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay, you're just joking. Okay, good. But cutting healthcare is probably the equivalent. Yeah, it's not as violent and right in your face, but it's a sideways behind the back door coming in to fucking do it kind of thing. Listen, this is going to hurt the poor. This is going to hurt the people that are the most in danger. This is going to hurt people of color more. This is going to hurt people that are very not doing well economically. And in some ways, that's the design of this shit. In some ways, they knew they were going to do this evil shit. That's why they're building bunkers. That's why they want more police. That's why they want more prison. That's why they want more surveillance, because they know they're going to do some evil ass shit. And the masses will rise up against it and be against it. And they want to have control, even though they're the minority in weird, fucked up ways. So we've got to fight this, man. We've got to fight this. And the Americans really are in the thick of it. In some ways, we're on the sidelines watching. But in some ways, we need to be vigilant about our country, too, and not getting any kind of fucking totalitarian surveillance state up here either. Seriously. Mark Carney starts putting more money towards prisons and more money towards ICE agent kind of people, we'll know fucked up shit is starting up here too. And some of his things with the budget that he just came out is not exactly right. Let's just put it that way. It's not exactly right. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep going. Trevor's saying this Brandon thing is so overboard. Shaking my head. These fans couldn't handle the NBA, the WNBA. It's stupid, man. People have tossed things at NBA games so many different times. It's just this was one of the most unfortunate events of tossing something. Nicholas Claxton threw a ball into the crowd at one of our games last year. People have thrown things at people, and some things have been unfortunate. And well, I'm just saying this is an incident that was public and put out there. And of course, ESPN's going to put this article all over. They don't cover the Raptors except for when there's something negative. I just say this. Brandon made, in the heat of the moment, a mistake. Let it go. Let's move on. And I'm going to say the expiration on this should be yesterday because the fine came out and it should all be over and done with. If there's people coming around still talking about this shit in the next week or in the future, I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up because this seriously, it's ridiculous. The way some people are carrying on about this so much, it's crazy. Yeah, the WNBA is much more physical, passionate, and fiery. Yeah, and there'd probably be misogynists and male chauvinists that would be like, women can't show aggressive behavior like throwing things or acting in mannish ways. Oh, no. And they get mad and they'll start getting angry about the WNBA. Yeah, there's a lot of hate towards the WNBA just because they're women, just because they're black, just because they're women that are powerful and stronger than some of these men that are weak. And they're like, oh, man, Lisa Leslie probably kick your ass, motherfucker. That's right. In some ways, they feel threatened by a strong woman. And a lot of men that don't like the WNBA are just sad, pathetic men that are scared of a powerful woman. That's what that is right there. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying, I didn't know that Moon was also caught up in the healthcare scandal with Sebastian. Jamario Moon? You saying Jamario Moon? Full name answers. You're saying Moon? Jamario Moon? Well, that's too bad. And once again, I don't know. Was there a healthcare fraud in the NHL with a bunch of white guys? Did they get in trouble? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. It's interesting, It's interesting how some people can be criminals and some people can't. Country Kong saying this. Have you seen the TJ Ford interview from Out the Mud? Kyle is my favorite Raptor ever, but my second favorite point guard is TJ. Was just a little engine that could. He said we forced him to play through injuries. That's too bad. he had such a horrible injury. Like that back injury was so scary. And I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why we would have to force him to play. We had Jose at the same time. And I don't know. I don't know what was going on back then. In some ways, I don't totally remember. It's Sam Mitchell years, Chris Bosh era. But that's interesting. I'll have to watch that full interview. I've seen little clips of it, but I haven't seen the full one. So he did it in the mud one with the Grizzlies guys. Okay, I'll have to go look at that. I've always liked TJ. I always thought that he was honorable and he was a good representative of the Raptors franchise. And he's likes us too. He said that his best years, he feels like he played with Bosh were his best years in the NBA. And that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. I like that. Yeah, let's keep going. Trevor J saying this. What do you think the Wings have a second chance to get the first round pick again in WNBA lottery ball this month? The Dallas team is so weird, man. I mean, I can make all kinds of conspiracy theories about the owner and the Luka trade and Nico Harrison and Cooper Flagg. But the one thing I love about this, and this is once again what I was talking about earlier, fool's gold. You guys think that this and this and this. Now, all right, Adam Silver saw ratings were down with the NBA last year. He wanted to shake things up. What's a bigger shakeup than sending one of the top players in the league to the Lakers and making a big news story out of it? Now, did they do that deal like organically, or was this something that Adam Silver pressed for to get the notoriety and the publicity for the NBA up last December? I think that that's what it is. But Nico Harrison's probably like, I can't do this, man. You're going to make me so hated here if I trade Luka. Well, listen, Nico, we'll give you the first pick in the draft. We'll just do it. We'll give it to you. It's the lottery. And Dallas will be picking first, and you'll get Cooper Flagg. Okay, all right, let's do this. We'll make the trade. Luka, you're going to LA, and that's that. And I'm getting Anthony Davis. And then they drafted Cooper Flagg. And, well, if the Wings are a part of the Mavericks and they're all owned under the same thing, maybe some of the payment for Luka Doncic is two first-round picks in 2 years in a row for the Dallas WNBA team. Could that be part of trying to balance it for the really kind of fucked up, weird Luka trade that happened last year? The crazy thing is Nico Harrison told the fans last year, we're going to be good this year. Don't worry. We're going to be fantastic, and y'all won't be booing me anymore. Well, that's not what's happened. They are stupid. They think that just because on paper they got Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flagg, they're going to be good. No, Lex called this. I called this in the middle of summer. There's some people in this chat. There is a person on named Beyond that does a basketball rewind show that loves the Mavericks, and they're kissing the ass and saying, oh, they're going to be so good next year. I did not believe that shit all summer long. I did not believe the Cooper Flagg hype. It's very well documented on here. He's still a rookie. He's still got to learn the NBA. So now the Mavericks are failing out of the gate this season, and the Mavericks fans are showering boos down on Nico Harrison. And plus that, the owner, Patrick, is not as enchanted with Nico Harrison all of a sudden, and now that motherfucker's probably going to lose his job. That's right, and he should have. He deserves to lose his job. In some ways, the Mavericks nation, they deserve a sacrifice for this bullshit they've been through in this last year. And Nico Harrison is that person that needs to be that person. So he needs to be fired tomorrow, if not yesterday. And he's going to get fired, seriously, because he promised them that they would win even after all that. And that's not what's happening. No, their offense is the worst offense in the NBA right now. And they are struggling so bad in a very competitive Western Conference, and they are not going to be good this year. Klay Thompson's already asking to get traded out. Kyrie Irving is nowhere near coming back, and Anthony Davis is hurt all of a sudden again. And they got a rookie running point guard named Cooper Flagg that should not be doing that right now. So, yeah, Mavericks, you get what you get. Fool's gold, deals with the devil, making manipulative trades to help the league by putting Luka on the Lakers. You get what you get. And honestly, the fool's gold will come out the other side with the Lakers too. This shit ain't going to work out for them either. It's not like Luka's going to add up to more Lakers championships. Watch. It won't happen, y'all. Remember, I said this right now. It won't happen. In fact, I don't think Luka Doncic will ever win an NBA championship, guys. And it's because of who he is in his player game. He's not a winning player. He's a Harlem Globetrotter that can make trick shots. He can do all kinds of fancy scoring shit, but he has no defensive chops. And that is not going to help any team win. And you saw how well his Mavericks did against the Celtics in the finals 2 years ago. So, yeah, that's it right there. Mic drop. Mic drop. So, fool's gold. Lessons in fool's gold. Brooklyn Nets, Dallas Mavericks, fool's gold. Lakers, too. Fool's gold. Y'all got fool's gold. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Shaq Lindsay saying this. Did you hear what the Dodgers did? Apparently, they donated tons of money to Sick Kids Hospital. Yeah, I heard about this. The LA Dodgers, after defeating the Blue Jays in the World Series, made a sizable donation to Toronto Sick Kids Hospital. And that's fantastic. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear in the news. That's good sportsmanship. That's why, in some ways, I respect the Dodgers. I respect Magic Johnson, one of the owners of the Dodgers. Very, very classy winner. And yeah, I wish that the LA fans were more classy as a whole. But the organization, the ownership group, and the players themselves, in some ways, classy people, Dodgers organization. Your fans, not so much. Let's just put it that way. That's right. That's right. Seymour saying, which moon? Jamario? Jamario, yeah. Oh, my manners. Remembrance. Yeah, remember Jamario Moon. That's right. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Let's see what Randolph's words of wisdom are today. Let me make sure I am not missing any comments here. Good morning, beloved Raptor Freaks family. Freedom always comes at a price. Yeah, and that's what we're celebrating today. But I think people forgot the memo here. Let's see. Not because you didn't pay the price, do not take it for granted. Use your freedom in honor of those who paid for it, and fight for the freedom that they fought for. Don't give it up. Don't give it up, Democrats, with your bullshit kowtowing to a fuckface on Sunday night. I have way more respect if y'all held out on them still. But giving them what they wanted? Seriously, you're going against what the forefathers and the soldiers fought for our freedom. Seriously, when you give in to a totalitarian wannabe dictator and give in to his concessions. Seriously, y'all have shown that you are not the other side, the opposition. You're just another part of the same plane, the same wings on the same plane. And in some ways, I'm so disappointed in the establishment Democratic Party of the career politicians. You know, the Republicans are reprehensible and full of shit and always been fucked up. But the Democrats have been absolutely false people that have absolutely not represented the people they're supposed to. In some ways, they're just a false flag operation that's acting like they are for the people, but they're actually for the corporations on the down low. And that's why they were fighting against Zoran themselves. Seriously. And that's why we need more grassroots people like Mamdini to come up and take the leadership positions more and more all over the place. So seriously, people that were never, ever in politics, y'all need to go into politics now and run on your honesty and authenticity and realness and not be a career politician like any of the Republicans or Democrats. And we can change things, but we need more people like Zoran. And he is showing as a trailblazer what we can do to do this, to change this. And we need more of them. But they're going to fight every way. They did as much as they could with Mamdini. They wanted to sidetrack him. And it wasn't just Cuomo and the Republicans. It was also the Democrats trying to stop him too. Just like they'd stopped Bernie when he tried to overtake the presidential nomination from Hillary Clinton. I'm telling you, establishment Democrats are just as part of the problem as the Republicans are. And it's not that I'm like anti-Democrats. I'd love the Democrats to be the right way that they're supposed to be. It's just that they're sold out to corporate and oligarch interests just as much as the Republicans. And in some ways, they're a false image of a resistance. They are not really. They're ineffective, and they're supposed to be like the alternative, but they're not. They don't do jack shit to help anybody. They're just there making their own damn money on themselves. Blessing the Phyllis family and all the Raptor Freak families. So yeah, they paid the price for our freedom. Both my grandfathers fought in World War II. And you know what? What are we doing now? We got to do our part in our time for what they did and what we remember them for right now. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I'm saying. Trevor's saying, y'all lose your mind. AJ Lawson is not an NBA draft player, but Jacoby is a first-round pick, and he will get to play more. Yeah, I'm with Trevor on this. AJ Lawson has been in the league for a while. AJ Lawson, I believe, is an NBA player. I think he's right. It's just that he has to have timing and spot and opportunity happen to line up for him. Now, I would say this. Very easily, we could have cut AJ Lawson and cut ties with him at the beginning of the season. We could, he's lucky Shamshay got blood clots. Let's just put it that way. Seriously. Seriously. In some ways, if Shamshay hadn't gone on the fitness to play panel, AJ Lawson may not be on our team right now, guys. Let's think about this. The two-way opened up, and they were like, okay, well, we can get AJ now. And I'm glad. In some ways, he's grasping by a string, but he's still in there. We're still giving him a chance, and he's still got a big opportunity. I was worried about AJ so bad this offseason and coming into training camp and the fight that he was under to try and make this team. But he was victorious. He made the team. I'm very happy for him for that. I'm very happy. I was on the record saying if we have to choose between Lawson and Roden, we got to pick Canadian, just like we should all be doing in the grocery store and the products we buy right now. Buy the Canadian products. Don't buy the American products. Seriously. There's no point in that. In fact, let me get my Canadian product for today. Guys, you may like Nature's Valley, or you may like, any kind of bar, but I like Made Good bars. Let me get this right. Made Good bars are a Canadian-made bar that you can buy. They have all kinds of types. This is a cookies and cream bar. There's like, for me in the morning, I'll eat like an apple and one of these bars, and it's like a nice just start of digestion in the morning for me. But yeah, it's just a regular routine thing. But this is a Canadian brand, Canadian-made granola bar, organic and chewy, and it's cookies and cream flavor. It's so good, man. But yeah, Made Good, made by Canadians, for Canadians here in Canada. And that's why I say AJ Lawson should have been on this team in the training camp battles, and it did work out that way. So that's what I'm saying. Trevor's right. AJ's a badass. AJ's a great player, and I do want to see him succeed and get up there. But once again, we got to look at our roster, and there's a log jam of 2s and 3s on our team right now. In fact, some point this season, Bobby Webster's probably going to have to make a deal to get some of the 2s or 3s moved off our team, and hopefully he's going to get a big. So we'll have to see. And in some ways, if they do move some of those 2s and 3s, AJ may move up at that point, like, around the trade deadline. It's a long season. There's a lot of stuff that come up still. And it could very well be we trade a couple guys and there's a little bit less on the depth chart at the 2 and the 3 all of a sudden, and AJ's called up and he's playing way more minutes for us. This is a long season. It's a long, long season. And Trevor's exactly right. Jacoby Walter is a first-round pick of ours that we've invested in, that we want to get the most out of him. That's what I'm saying. Seymour saying this, that moment right there let me know my $120 was gone. We will see you again, Sixers. Fuck the Sixers. Yeah. And we will. We'll get them back. I think it's a very even match. It's just that we were playing without Jakob. If we have Pirtle out there against the Sixers next time in their full strength, I think we'll have a very good battle and we can beat them. We're going to play them more this year. We're going to play the Sixers more. That's right. It was Jamario Moon that got in the healthcare fraud problems. Okay. Yeah. JP saying this, maybe it's the T-Mac effect. When someone's so talented, making something difficult look easy. I'm not saying he's lacking effort or checking poor shots, but KD shot over 50% with similar tools as BI. Well, Brandon is shooting over 50%. What are you talking about? He's shooting 55% this season so far. He is not missing very often. I'm telling you right now, he's been playing very well. I don't know where you're getting your stats, JP, because he's shooting over 50% right now. Brandon makes certain things look easy, but it's a high skill level. And like, not everybody can do what he's doing. I've said this on the stream this year so far, that you can have the same body as him, like him and Nicholas Claxton. But if you don't put in the gym work and the footwork and the attention to detail and the reps and the shooting and the crazy gym rat mentality of always being in the gym, maybe overworking your body to its detriment that Brandon Ingram does, that's what you get when you get to that. And that's why he has such a weird dribble, a long dribble, but it's really good. And his footwork's really solid. And he's a very interesting player, the way he moves on the court. And I'm like I said, I don't have a lot to criticize with him right now. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing right now. And I also see growth for him to expand into space as far as the responsibilities and the help in winning that we're going to need him to help us over the season. He's a bucket. He's one of the most sure buckets we've had on our team in a long, long time. That if he gets the ball, you can probably count on he's either getting fouled to the foul line or he's going to make that shot. And I love that. When I was talking about somebody who makes things that look difficult so easy, I was talking about Lenny Wilkens. In some ways, Lenny Wilkens people thought he was on cruise control as a coach because he wasn't so demonstrative and emotional and expressive. He was just kind of chill, and they mistook him. They're totally reading him wrong. He's a good coach. The players listened to him. The players respected him. And anybody trying to say that he didn't really coach those teams, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. You really are. And Charles Oakley probably comes set you straight. Seriously. Kaloy saying, laugh out loud. Reports coming out that Nico Dallas is getting fired today. There you go. Right on time. He was sitting in the crowd last night, and they were booing him. And some guy was standing in front of him. He's like, no, stop. Some guy was pleading with the fans to stop booing. No, people that are wrong and awful, they get booed, Donald Trump, at a Washington Commanders game. Yeah, they get booed. And Nico Harrison deserves those boos. And I'm totally with Mavericks Nation. That's right. We should get Lively from the Mavs. Haha. That's not a bad guy to get. Although, I want to keep it Canadian. Maybe Shaden Sharp's my guy. I don't know. Smooth saying this. Luka is good, man. He can't be fool's gold if he's considered a top 5 guy in the league. Sure you can. No, Luka is good. Yeah, Luka's good, but I don't believe this shit. Once again, man, you got to be two-way player to win the NBA now. And if you're not a two-way player and you're actually a weakness on defense, you're going to hurt your team in the end. Because the offense will go away too. You can't make every shot, but you can be defensively good almost every possession. And if you don't even have a basis of being a good defensive player and your whole other team is covering up for you, I'm just saying, man. Reggie. You can be dazzled by his good looks and his shots and his being on the Lakers. I don't believe any of that shit. And you'll see I'm right by the end of it all. Seriously, you'll see I'm right. There's just certain players that aren't going to win, and Luka's one of them. If he was playing in the old eras, he'd definitely not win back then. Seriously, he's fool's gold. I'm telling you right now. We can agree to disagree on this, and over time, we'll see who's right. How about that? We'll see over who's right. That's right. Respectfully, he's not that. To compare him to Harlem's Globetrotter is insulting. No, I only compare him to Harlem Globetrotters because he does Harlem Globetrotter kind of shit. Like he sits on the floor and shoots shots up. He does trick shots. He's bouncing the ball off the wall into the hoop. That's Harlem Globetrotter shit. I'm not saying he's at the level of a Harlem Globetrotter. I'm saying that he does Harlem Globetrotter trick shots and that's fun for him. When I call him a Harlem Globetrotter, that's what I mean. I don't mean that he's, they're very talented basketball players. The Harlem Globetrotters are very good. It's the other team that's not very good. They're fucking badasses. They have all the dribbling skills. They can do all kinds of cool exhibition shit. That's what I'm saying. In some ways, some guys are just exhibition dunkers like Ja Morant. Some guys are just exhibition shooters like Luka Doncic. You can say that's insulting, but that's the way I look at him. They're going to kiss his ass now that he's a Laker and over-importance him. I'm going to point out the lumps and the negative sides and tell y'all exactly why he's a loser too. And that's my right. We all have different opinions. But I want to clarify, when I call him a Harlem Globetrotter, it's because he likes to take trick shots, and they like to too. It's not because of the level of player he is. It's because he has that attribute that he likes to do funny stuff like that, and he's kind of goofy like that. That's really what it is. That's what it is right there. Shaq Lindsay saying, sorry for mentioning such a barbaric action, but think about how many Americans died during COVID just because they didn't have healthcare insurance. This is the blueprint these motherfuckers are following. Yeah, it's all good, Shaq Lindsay. I think that you were trying to be jokey, but I'm very serious because honestly, the idea of that happening is very possible with the fucking crazy criminal in charge down there. Seriously, it's such a cartoon world, and crazy ass shit that you think would never ever happen could fucking happen. I mean, this administration in the White House right now made overtures that they want to do a reality show like Squid Game with illegal immigrants. Like they want to put a TV show out where they take people that they've taken with ICE and make them do Squid Game on TV in real life. I'm telling you, they're dehumanizing people, making people seem like they're not actually human beings and more animals because they want to be able to subjugate them to awful things in really bad ways because they're cruel and they're fucked up. Seriously, these are absolutely evil people that absolutely have joy off of cruelty and misery of people that they don't like. this is the way the KKK was back in the day. They burned down people's houses, they string people up from trees, and they got really enjoyment from it because they are sick, fucked up people. So I'm just saying, if Trump can say, I'd like to see a show like Squid Game with illegal immigrants participating for all of our entertainment on TV, he doesn't fucking joking around. He would love to see that shit happen. That's fucked up, man. I'm telling you right now, it's fucked up, man. It's crazy. Wayne's saying this. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Game day. Let's establish another 4 or 5 game win streak. Trump latest pardons are a stunt. Those are state convictions. The only he has a federal pardon power. Don't fall for the hype. I like that, and I have heard that. So hopefully it'll stick. But who knows in this world? I'm just saying, man. When all the rules are out because criminals are running things, it's like, why should we all follow the rules too? Like, seriously, do we have to worry about city ordinances and state laws anymore? If the leadership in power is showing that they don't regard any laws, are we just going to a lawless world where should we all follow the rules? Seriously? Oh, because the ICE people come and take us to the for-profit prisons? Because this is a crazy thing, man. They probably would rather criminalize everybody, put them in jail, and make money off them being incarcerated than give them UBI and allow people to be free and try and have a good life. Seriously, this is the kind of shit they're looking at right now. It's crazy. Good to see you, Wayne. Good to see you. Shaq Lindsay saying they're already poisoning the population with the chemicals they put in the food. It's just a slow and painful way of dying, probably just as barbaric. Yeah, that's why grow your own food. Stop eating processed foods. One of the side benefits of me buying Canadian solely is I'm healthier than ever. I used to buy American products mixed in with Canadian products at the grocery store, but I've been very hardlining buying Canadian made. And honestly, I feel better health over this past year since I started doing this than in my middle age ever. And that's saying something, that there's a lot of added shit that they're putting in the food in the States down there. And it's exactly what Shaq Lindsay's saying. So seriously, you want a hidden benefit to buying Canadian, like Made Good and other products like the Neal Brothers and Spray Cannery, you may find hidden additions of health that are good for you because you cut out the American brands because they're absolutely cheap in what they fucking give you. When I go to Uxbridge to go and get some A&W, I go in there and go to the A&W because it's Canadian. And even in between Uxbridge, A&W, and McDonald's in Uxbridge, there may be more people in the drive-thru at McDonald's, but they're eating more highly processed foods and more crap. So that's the thing. Their standards are different than ours down there for food and stuff like that. So buy your own food make your own food, grow your own food, and also buy Canadian, and you'll feel better than ever because a lot of the American food is poisonous on the down low. He's exactly right. And, that's why cancer rates and all kinds of other stuff goes up, is because of this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, man. Shaq Lindsay saying this. Nico getting fired, laugh out loud. How the hell you get gifted the first round talent like Cooper and get fired not even before the break? Because the team sucks? Because he said that they fixed the expectations and do well, and he lied, and they're not happening? And in some ways, he set himself up to get fired because he promised something he couldn't deliver. And, well, you get what you get. Honestly, they should have fired him after he traded Luka when all the fans called for it then. That's what I'm saying right there. All right, let me keep going in the tabs real quick. We're about an hour and 23 in. Let's see what Reddit's talking about. In some ways, I don't even want to deal with Reddit, man. The people that are going against Brandon in the bottle throwing incident are heavy on here. In some ways, they're crazy, man. All right, here we go. Here's the headline for Country Kong right here. Brandon Ingram is currently the most efficient isolation scorer in the NBA, and the stats show it. And there's the alternative angle of throwing the bottle. It looked like it hit him in the face, but it actually got him in the arm. So hopefully that staff member, and I'm pretty sure that staff member is a Philadelphia staff and not one of our guys. If he is one of our guys, it's no big deal. So they'd probably be like, yeah, it's all good. But I'm worried it's a Philly guy. We'll have to see. Yeah. Let's see. Somebody has a question here. And this is who's better, DeMar DeRozan or Brandon Ingram? Similar play styles. I feel that DeMar is still a bit better. Sadly, I love DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan, all right, what does your question mean? Who's better? Do you mean right now? Do you mean for their career? What do you mean? You got to stipulate this. If you're going to say for their NBA career, it's DeMar DeRozan. And that's really because he has the time put in and over the time. But if you ask me who the better player is right now, it's Brandon Ingram. In some ways, Brandon Ingram could be the better player presently, but DeMar DeRozan has a better NBA career than Brandon Ingram. That's what I would say right there. That's the answer I have. They don't even show us the results on this. All right, here's a Raptor Redditor who's kind of got the same position as me. He's saying this. He's saying, hot take about the jerseys. I've always liked the Chevron Raptors jerseys and the black and the gold coloring. I like all the Raptor ones too, but everyone hates the Chevron so much. I don't know. It never bothered me. I loved it when it first came out. Yeah. Why all this hating? Like, why do you have to love purple and the dinosaur so much that you hate red and the Chevron so much? Like, seriously, can't we just have different eras of our team and celebrate the different eras and the different nostalgia of the different eras? The Chevron's going to be a part of our history no matter what, as much as the Chevron haters hate it. It's going to be just like the purple is going to be a part of our history no matter what. And the dinosaur. So, I mean, let the team evolve its look as it's supposed to over the years. And it has evolved its look over the years. And in some ways, it's like, look, man, it's just jerseys, bro. Seriously. Joan Rivers, fashion police, you want to get out there on the red carpet with Melissa and talk about what everybody's wearing and talk like this? What is this? Yeah, seriously. I don't want to genderize this because it seems like guys are just as mixed up about the fashion of the Raptors as the female fans. It's not a gender thing. I would think, in some ways, I care about the basketball. I care about what happens on the court. I don't give a shit what they're wearing. Seriously. In some ways, it's like that's very much not high on my priority list about the Raptors that I care about. I mean, some people make it the most important thing to them. They don't give a shit about how the team does. They just care about the jerseys and the look. Like, who are these fans? Like, what is this? Seriously, they're not basketball people. They're just style people, I guess, or some bullshit like that. Okay, someone's posted a picture with Darko and the Grizzlies with Ja Morant. He's just leaving it here. Okay, yeah, leave it there and leave it there forever. And nobody needs to have anything to do with that. Seriously. All right, I'm done with Raptors Reddit. In some ways, they're silly. They're so silly with this goofy shit. Seriously. All right, let's keep going on the chat. Guys, we have a birthday today. It's a really kind of a weird one. It's a weird one, guys. We're going to say happy birthday to a guy who played one NBA game his whole entire career, and it was for the Raptors in 1999. Mark Baker. Happy birthday, Lamarck Anthony Baker. He is turning 56 today. He's from Dayton, Ohio. He played for the Raptors in one game, made one appearance, and that was his whole entire NBA career. He played 2 minutes. He got one shot. He got one turnover. He missed the shot. He never scored in the NBA. So we want to say happy birthday to a 2-minute Raptor, a man who played 2 minutes in the NBA, didn't score, made a turnover, and missed a shot. And that's all he did his whole entire NBA career. But he can say he played in the NBA, and he played for the Raptors. So I'm just saying he got to play in a lot of different other places, though. He finished his career in 2001 on the Florida Sea Dragons. So, yeah, happy birthday, Lamarck Baker. One-time Raptor, 2-minute Raptor, one game. That's the tough world, man. Is the dude, I mean, seriously, he got way further than most people do. You know what I'm saying? He got way further than most people do. That's right. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying the next GM is going to look for a blockbuster trade in trading for the players that they trade for. One of the reasons why it sounds like Nico may get fired is because Patrick, I think, wants him to flip Anthony Davis and trade him to kind of go for the future and start building around Cooper. And some of the older players on the Mavs right now, they may be going like Kyrie and Clay and Anthony. But apparently Nico has said he doesn't want to trade Davis, and he's having a conflict with Patrick Dumont about trading Anthony Davis. So it could be it's not necessarily the fire Nico chance to get Nico Harrison fired today. It may very well be that the owner is disagreeing with him about trading Davis is what's happening right now. That's what I've heard. And the rumor mills and what's going on right now. Yeah. Anthony Davis and Zion will go into the DMP Hall of Fame. That's funny as shit. You know what? I'm giving you a big time dunk for that. The DMP Hall of Fame. I love that, man. Ben Simmons is in there too. Man, Shaq Lindsay, that's fire right there. You get a dunk for that. I love that, man. I'm going to give you, you know what? I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give you 10 dunks for that innovation, the DNP Hall of Fame. That's a new thing. I like that. You just created something. 135 on the dunk charts. You just got 30 points added to your list, Shaq Lindsey. That was awesome, man. Yeah, the DMP Hall of Fame. That we need that in this league right now. John Morant's in that Hall of Fame too, man. John Morant is in that Hall of Fame. JP saying this: I wish Grady would play more. We're not investing in him the way we should be. He was averaging 20 points for us at this point last year. I know we have BI, but now Grady was showing great signs. You know, all right, this is what I want to say. Last year, we were in a totally different situation. It's kind of like what I talked about earlier. We're healthy right now. Last year, we weren't as healthy. And the opportunity for Grady to be a starter and get starters minutes was there last year. And he excelled. You're right. In some ways, what's happening with Grady isn't a backtrack. He's still accruing the knowledge and the experience in the NBA as a starter or as a bench player. And it's all important for a guy like him. He has to kind of go through a role player year off the bench like he is right now to fully flesh out his potential and possibilities in different roles in the NBA. In some ways, look, he could be a starter, but will we win as much? That's what I'm saying. In some ways, our talent is so good in the starting five that, guys that were starting last year are not starting this year, whether it's Walter, whether it's Mobo, whether it's Dick, whether it's Abaji, whether it's Shed. And they just have to be the second unit. And that's an adjustment. Grady understands his assignment. He's been in interviews recently saying that, the difference between starting last year and coming off the bench this year, he's okay with it because he understands the NBA is a flux. It changes. And what's asked of him will change different times. And right now, his attitude is whenever his name's called, he's going to go out there and do what he's asked by the coach. And he's going to do it to the best of his ability as he can. So it's really that our team got way more talented this summer, and that some of the guys we were relying on to do heavier roles last year, they don't have to this year. But this is healthy. This is normal in the NBA. There's a lot of players that get to start early in their careers, but they get that job taken away from them at some point, and they have to adjust. And in some ways, that's part of how you learn to be a better NBA pro, is to roll with the punches and take the opportunities as they come. But Grady's got this down pat. He's not upset about this. He sees it for what it is, and he's ready for the challenge. And he's ready to try and do better and better. It may seem like his growth is being stunted or not going as far because he's not getting as much minutes this year, but that's not true. There's a lot of stuff he's doing, once again, behind the scenes in practice. He's built his body up more and more. One of the big focuses for Grady right now is the defensive side of things. In some ways, we know he can do the stuff he can do on offense. He could average almost 20 points last year. What he needs to do to stick in this league is to improve his body and prove that he can be a solid defender that doesn't hurt us on the court. That's his assignment right now, really. And he's doing okay. Mixed results on that. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, Country Kong. But once again, like Masai said before he left, development isn't linear. This doesn't just mean you're starting and woo, you're just going to go like it's going to be a little bit of a journey, And it's just the reality of this situation right here. You can't start Grady Dick over Brandon Ingram. And the one thing I'll tell everybody I've been saying this whole year so far is we play the players according to what they get paid. The top 5 guys that are paid are the starters, and that's why they start. And, Grady, where he is in the hierarchy of his pay with everybody else, well, that's kind of where you can see where he is on the rotation. That's a really good way to gauge where guys are on the rotation is how much they get paid. That's why Jamison Battle won't play more than Grady Dick. That's part of it. It's part of it right there. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Kaloy saying 2 minutes I was a Raptor. That's crazy. Yeah, at least he can say that. Isn't that cool, though? You can say, I was a Toronto Raptor. I played in the NBA. Who are you? My name's Mark Baker. Hi. I was a Raptor in 1999. I played with Vince Carter. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't remember you. Oh, yeah. I only played one game, 2 minutes, and that's it. He didn't even score. Oh, man. That's what it said. Kaloy saying Gafford would be nice as a backup up here. I'd love that. Oh, my gosh. That would be a dream come true. If we could somehow land Daniel Gafford to the Toronto Raptors, that is absolutely a player I'd love to have come up here because he would really help with a lot of stuff that we need right there. In some ways, I'd like him to be up here more than Lively because he's actually a true center. And also, Gafford is a little bit more veteran, And honestly, he would help us immensely. If Bobby Webster could swing Daniel Gafford to the Raptors at some point, sometime this season, that's a winning move right there, Bobby Webster. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's a winning move right there. Yeah, I'm all about that, Kaloy. CountryCon saying, Lex, I was wrong about BI. You were right. For some reason, I had the impression that Brandon was shooting closer to 45%, but he's actually shooting a career best 51. That's amazing. Take more shots, BI. Yeah, but he is our number one option at this point. You know, last year it may have been RJ, but this year it's definitely not. And it's kind of interesting to see how RJ's kind of weathered not being the main focal point anymore and letting Brandon be that guy, because he really is kind of that guy at this point. I would say every other trip down the court, the ball's going through Brandon's hands. Whether he shoots it or not, he's touching it. He's touching it. And that's good because you want him to get as much touches and possibilities to shoot as possible. Because the great thing about him, once again, is he can make his own offense by himself. He doesn't need to play off anybody else. He can make his own mismatch and his own offense just naturally being himself. And it really is that Kevin Durant length and that Kobe Bryant footwork that gets him space. And we've seen him make shots in the lane with people right up in his face, like right in his face. And he just shoots over them. And it's nothing but net. So, yeah, I'm loving what Brandon's doing. And you know what? Continue to complete your whole game and play as well as you can in the other areas. The scoring's fine. The shooting's fine. And in some ways, he doesn't need to score 30 points a game, obviously. If him and Scottie and RJ are all averaging 20 points per game, that's 60 points of our game right there in those three individuals. And that's fantastic. It's badass, man. That's right. Blackhawks here. Good to see Neil. Neil, did you see that you're in a picture that the Raptors 905 posted of you at courtside? I can see you in the picture behind one of the players, and you're behind the guy with the red jacket you were sitting behind, right? The old guy with the red jacket. Yeah, there's a picture of 905, and you can distinctly see Blackhawk sitting in the crowd at the 905 game on Sunday. You can see his face. It's cool. You can see Neil. Neil's on the 905 official pictures. It's pretty cool, man. All right, let me keep going. All right, guys, I guess I'll start wrapping it up since we're kind of at this point. And maybe I'll do a 11-11 tribute, or maybe I'll just get out of here before then. Oh, weird. Okay, we'll do this. This is cool. All right, guys, here's the classic card of the day. Full name answer, please. If you know this player, I'm trying not to get the glare on it. It's interesting. Recently, they posted a video. Now, I want to say this. Big ups to the Raptors admin for YouTube channel. The clips y'all are putting out, the history you're putting out, the information you're putting out is so top-notch. Thank you for posting old games, like half an hours of the old games and stuff like that. Thank you for putting up stuff like all the game winner shots, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that y'all been doing with your channel has been top-notch this year. James, you got it. That's right. In the game, they posted our Andrea Bargnani 41-point game in New York at Madison Square Garden. And Gallinari was on the Knicks at that time. So we had two big Italian players playing in that game, Bargnani versus Gallinari. Of course, Bargnani scored 41, but the Raptors lost that game. But, yeah, I like all the stuff they're putting out. It's really fantastic. I love seeing the old games and the extended versions of them. So you actually see parts of the game, and you get to reminisce the feel of the time. Raptors YouTube channel, you guys are doing amazing. You really have. That may be one of the biggest plus changes since Rodgers took over, is that our YouTube channel has been hitting out of the park. You guys are doing fantastic. Keep doing these clips, seriously. And I know maybe y'all watch me and you get ideas for what you want to do from what I'm saying, because I've noticed that I'll talk about a subject on the show in the morning, and then all of a sudden Raptors YouTube channel has put out a clip later on that day that kind of has something to do with what I was saying. So, yeah, keep doing the job, guys. You're doing a 10 out of 10, Raptors YouTube. Thank you for showcasing our history and opening the vaults and giving us a reminiscence and remembering of like other eras of the Raptors history. And I'm glad you're continuing to do this past the 30th anniversary of last year. In some ways, this is stuff you guys should be mining and putting up as much as possible, because y'all do a good job of educating the current Raptor fans on the history and the heritage and the story of the Raptors from before. People need to know who TJ Ford is. People need to know who Andrea Bargnani was. People need to know about Morris Peterson and Alvin Williams from when they were players. And Raptors YouTube's doing a really good job of doing that. All right, Danilo Gallinari is James's classic card today. And he's going to go ahead and get 100 for this. I think it's it's not a totally easy card. Plus, Gallinari had his face away from the camera, so it's pretty impressive that he got that. But Danilo is the card of the day. Let me see. Why did I do that? All right, hang on. Danilo Gallinari. That's right. And it's James getting the card, and he gets 100 points for it. 100 points for that. All right, let me do the wrap up. I'm going to do keys to the victory, the win, to the season, to get the win over the Nets. And we'll also go back over the injuries and the ref report really fast, real quick. Yeah, the basketball player Michael Ray Richardson died. Is it Michael Ray Richardson you're saying? Michael Ray Richardson was a guard in the 80s who got kicked out of the league for drugs. He was one of the few people that got banned from the NBA for life because of drugs. You're saying it's Michael Ray Richardson. Full the name out. That's not a full name answer, Trevor. I don't know anybody named Michael Ray. If it's Michael Ray, okay, it is. There's the Richardson. Okay, there it is. That's sad. That's sad. That's a guy in some ways like John Morant who wasted his life and didn't do what he could have done because he had all the talent in the world. I think cocaine was his drug, and it fucked him up. I feel so sad about this. In some ways, we don't really have a connection to Michael Ray Richardson. And in some ways, I didn't really get to watch him play a whole lot because he was kind of kicked out of the league as I was a kid and before I really, really got in the NBA. So, but I do know about his story. That's sad, man. That's sad. That sucks. All right, let's wrap it up real quick and see if I get out of here before 11:11. Sandro Mamukelashvili is on the injury list for the Raptors. It's his neck. He's questionable, but he should. Who knows if he'll play or not? Maybe not. I say it's the Nets. Don't worry about it. On the Nets side, they do have some injuries. Day'Ron Sharp is questionable due to his hamstring. Cam Thomas is out, and Haywood's Highsmith is out. I'm guessing that their roster will be Igor Demon, Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Noah Clowney, and Nick Claxton starting for them. The referees for today, we got the great Bill Kennedy as our crew chief. He favors the Raptors statistically in his history. We love you, Bill. Go out there and kick some ass tonight as the ref. Jason Goebel is the second ref. He ever so slightly favors the Nets over us. And then the last ref's absolutely a disaster. CJ Washington will be the third ref. He is a really bad ref for the Raptors. He makes bad calls against us consistently when he's out there. So hopefully Bill Kennedy will be the man in charge and not letting these other guys. I'm sure we'll be fine. The Nets are not good. Our talent is like 100 times better than their talent right now. And we need to blow them out. We need to make a statement win. We need to get we can't go 5-6. We need to be 6-5 at the end of the night and start building a winning streak and get some good games above 500 because the rest of November is not that bad with our schedule. And we need to get some ground well above 500 this month because the games are good for getting that. Whether it's Charlotte, Brooklyn, Washington. These are some of the teams we're playing very soon. And we need to beat all of them. We need to win all these easy games coming up for the rest of November. And hopefully by the end of November, we'll have a good amount of games above 500 and we'll be in like the top 5 teams in the East. We should be if everything goes according to plan for the rest of November. Tonight is a good test. You got to beat the teams that aren't that good when you have to face them. That's right. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. I hope y'all have a great day. I know I'm heavy sometimes with some of the stuff I talk about on my channel. But you know what? Somebody's got to talk about it. And we can't just all be silent on heavy shit because the world is changing. And we need more and more people to be aware of how it's changing. Because in some ways, we may want to change some of the changes that they're trying to change for us. And we may not like what they want because it's not right or just for humans. And I'm telling you right now, taking away SNAP, taking away healthcare from people is very much a very, very strong decision that they're making in policy. Because they do not care if we live or not. So if you're for life, if you're for humanity, if you're for equality, if you're for democracy, if you're for freedom, you better get in the streets. You better start boycotting and you better start doing everything you can to fight some of the bullshit that they're trying to do right now. I'm telling you right now, you know, in some ways I would like to think that we could change things back through the voting booth, but I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can at this point. Because once again, these people are not playing by the rules. They're criminals, and they will do everything they can in their power to stay in power. I mean, look at January 6th and that bullshit there. Look at the rigging of elections. Look at the way that they're messing with voting machines and calling out fraud and saying other people are criminals that aren't criminals, and pardoning criminals that are criminals. So everything is upside down. And if we want a world that's right and just, you cannot let the power that's in charge right now continue to be in power, because they're going to write the world's future going ahead in the image that they want. And that's not an image that's humanitarian or right for all of us. That's only right for a very select, very, very rich few, is what they're trying to govern for. And that's not right. That's not right, y'all. So be vigilant and get out there, and you can make more of a difference than you actually understand. Seriously, I'm telling you right now. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody. Let me get out of here. I don't want to do this while it's on the air. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Nets. They're a bad team. We should win.